Hi, everyone. Are you a mom that has ever felt the crushing weight of disappointment in your relationship with your adult son or daughter? Today, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about some eye-opening realizations. I want to talk about shattered expectations that we maybe have placed on our children. And so I want to pave the way for resilience and love in that aspect. And so I hope that today you're going to get an aha moment that will reshape the way you approach your grown children. So get your notebook out, and this is part 1 of 2. So I look forward to sharing this with you. For those of you that are new here to my channel, I just want to welcome you. My name is Sally Harris, and I'm a mom who walked this same difficult road with my own daughter for over a decade. And when her life spiraled, so did mine. Today, on this one, I want to talk about the expectations. What are these expectations that we have placed knowingly or unknowingly on our children? And there are several of them. And the first one is these are all very common, right? So they may not 100% all apply to you, but many of them do. And you're going to probably pick out the one out of all of these. I want you to pick out one that you can start working on today. And so educational achievements. We all want what's best for our kids. Especially if we didn't have education or maybe we struggled, we want the best for them. We want to provide for them, right? So we have this expectation for them to pursue higher education or a specific career, right? And there's sometimes we inadvertently pressure them to excel academically and maybe even achieve like certain grades. And we did that when they were younger, and it probably, just kept going through high school and then maybe into college. The second one is career success. It kind of goes along with the education, but sometimes we parents will have this expectation that our children, because we know that they're able to do so much and accomplish so much, that we tend to have this expectation that they should have this lucrative job, right? Especially if maybe you come from a background of family who are doctors or lawyers or whatever the case may be, right? We tend to think our children are going to join the family business, right? So our kids feel that pressure. So there's that pressure to having that, kind of like I said, stay in the family business or do what dad did or do what mom did. Another one is relationships and marriage. We tend to have this expectation also as a society that our kids should be married by a certain age, and then they should have children, and they should have this many children, right? Like it's just supposed to be this linear path for everyone, and that everyone is on that same path, and they're not. And so we tend to put pressure on them maybe to, like I said, have children, to get married by a certain time. So those are 3 that I wanted to share, and I have more, but I want you to know that the acknowledgement of any of these, the one that you say, aha, yep, this was me. Maybe you did place expectations on your child. It can be hard to accept that, but I got you because I did the same thing in many ways. I share these because I lived them, not because I read them out of a book, right? So these are things that I see either that I've done personally or the moms that I coach have done or are doing. And that's where I compile this information for you. So I want to let you know, first of all, too, that if you and I have not talked before and you need a consultation to hear more about how I could help you, when you are ready for help, when you are ready to dive in and make changes, I want you to reach out to me via the discovery call link below. Another big one is financial stability. We have this expectation that they should be financially, savvy. Maybe that we expect them to manage money in a particular way. When in reality, we've all had to learn how to manage our finances, right? At a young age, we've all made mistakes that way. Everyone has. Unless you have had this, plethora of finances at your disposal, everyone has struggled. So, but as moms, we always want so much more for our kids than what we had, we don't want them to make the same mistakes we've made, but we all know that's how we learn, and they need to make those mistakes just like we did. Another is behavior and lifestyle choices. This is a big one because we have this expectation that they should follow our cultural practice or our religious practice or just how the family does things, right? And we tend to put pressure on them for moral and ethical standards. And that second part, I completely agree with that. Of course, we want our kids to be morally, astute, and we want them to be good citizens. We want them to be good, productive people in society. And so that's a big one. Many times, though, we do kind of push our own, like I said, cultural or religious practices on them, and that this is just the way the family did things. So this is how it should be. And it's not reality, right? So that's something to keep in mind. The other last one here is life choices. So we expect them sometimes, and I want you to think hard about this one. We expect them to fulfill our unfulfilled dreams or our unfulfilled ambitions. You know, maybe you're someone who's like, oh, I always wanted to go to nursing school. And so I want my daughter or my son to be a doctor or a nurse because that's what I wanted to do, but I never fulfilled it. I see this all the time. And you may think, well, I didn't do that. Maybe you didn't do it to that degree. But we do tend to like put dreams into our kids, even unknowingly. So we have pressure to pursue hobbies sometimes interests, or like I said, or even careers or parental desires, all these things. And so I just want you to just acknowledge these and figure out which one resonates best with you. And I want to talk with you about it. Put it in the comments and let me know which one of those was your aha moment of these are expectations that we put on our kids. And so again, I want to remind you that every situation, every family is unique and there's no one size fits all solution. You need to trust your instincts and know that reconciliation with your son or daughter is possible. And the ultimate goal is healing and growth for both you and your child, but you get to be responsible for you. And so I just want to encourage you to just acknowledge and be prepared to watch the next video when it comes out, because we're going to be talking about how to manage those expectations and what do you do now. Maybe you have inadvertently put some expectations on your kids and you want to stop. So that's what that second video is going to be about. And so I look forward to seeing you then.